Welcome to the fourth episode of the Screwup Exchange, where we're going to talk about how COVID-19, haircuts, and meetings taught me how ownership and role clarification is important for running a project. Hi, my name's Patrick.
Hi, my name is Drasko.
So Drasko, how are you adapting to the new normal?
I must say it's going better and better from day to day. The next big thing in the new normal is getting my hair cut.
Oh, when's the last time you had your hair cut?
Oh, yeah.
been a minute.
But it's still okay. I'm doing still okay. And yeah, I have my hairdresser, and he's a really great guy. I mean, it's like really annoying if I need to go to somebody else to cut my hair because I'm so used to him and he's doing a great job.
Yeah, it's a bonding experience between your cutter and...
And I must say, I'm very picky on this. So I'm really, I don't give my head to somebody else's hands. And yeah, the thing before this new normal, he was like, he didn't have a schedule, so it was like first come, first serve.
Okay.
And since he is so good doing haircuts, it was always a line. Yeah. So it doesn't matter if you come in at 8 a.m. in the morning when he's open. It could be that already 4 people waiting in front of the store.
Yeah.
It was before Corona, so... or if you come like at a midday on Wednesday, on Tuesday, don't go on Saturdays because you will lose like 2 hours. So now... with Corona, he was forced to do a scheduling. Okay. So now it's much easier. So I will really, I won't waste so much time, I think.
Well, you should definitely let him know because I know some things about scheduling and meeting invites. Okay. So be sure to tell him this story. Okay. So I have a really funny story about a meeting. So I was a new consultant.
Okay.
I was a new lean person. I finished all my training and we had, in our program, we have like 3 major meetings that we get everybody together, like all the key stakeholders, like all the important people.
The steering committees.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, the steering committees. So like a steering committee is basically you get everybody together. You get people from all the different departments that have some type of impact what the project is about. Mm-hmm. So what should happen is the person that is owning the project should be the one that schedules the meetings.
Which makes sense, right?
Yeah. Well, back in my younger days, I was like that really go get 'em. I really want to just take ownership. I want to stand up in front. I'm like, no, I will take the meeting. I will organize everything. I will make a good impression because I wanted to, for the project owner, I wanted just to give great impression because I wanted good feedback because this is how I was getting graded. It's like, so I will take that off your plate. So I was the guy that was sending out the meeting invites.
For the plant managers and for all the management, high management?
All the high-level management, all the other department management, all the important people. I was the name on the meeting invite.
Okay. And they know you, right? Everybody knows Patrick McManus.
Oh, yeah. They know me now.
Now they know you.
Oh, no, now they know me. So what happened was, through no fault of the project, there was a scheduling conflict. It wasn't discovered until like a day or 2 before the meeting.
Okay.
So the project owner came to me and was just like, okay, Patrick, you have to change the meeting. And I'm like, okay, this is like a day... I can't remember if it was a day or 2. It's like it's a day before the meeting. Like these are all like high level executives. I don't think it's going to be possible. It's like, is there any way that you can take this meeting? He's like, no, I'm not going to be here on that day. You have to change it. So I'm like, oh crap.
Now they know you.
Now they know me. So I had to go talk to every single secretary. This was like 8 different major people. I had to talk to 8 different secretaries. I had to make sure that I could find a new time, a new date, and get everything set up, which took me forever. Like I spent basically a half a day, maybe the entire day, just trying to find a new date. So I thought everything was great.
That's why you're paying you. That's why they pay you, right? To set up the meetings.
Yeah, of course. That's exactly what I'm doing. It's not because I'm running a project and training people how to do this stuff. Yeah. But no, it's to find a date. So I did this, and I thought, okay, it's my fault. I'll take this one for the team. So I find a good date. It's like a week later. So when I send the meeting change notification, after it's all pre-aligned with all the secretaries and administrative assistants, so that's when the barrage of emails came back from high-level managers saying, Patrick.
What the fuck? I'm sorry.
It's like, you cannot do this. You cannot change a meeting one day prior to the thing. And it's just like, I'm really so sorry. This was a thing. It's just like, you cannot do this. And I'm like, I didn't want to say like, hey, it's not my fault.
Yeah, it's his fault, isn't it?
I didn't want to say that, but I was just sitting here like, look, we had to change the meeting. I'm sorry it was so short notice. This has already been pre-aligned with all the secretaries, but it really didn't matter because I realized at that point, like, who would do that? Who would change a meeting within a day?
There's no reason for this, right?
Yeah, and I'm not even the one that's the decision maker. I was the one that got all the flack. I got all the angry emails. I got all the phone calls. And this was my reputation. This was my career. Like, people realize it's like, oh, okay, this person's going to change meetings a day before an important event.
Yeah,
it looked horrible, right?
Yeah, I can imagine that. I can imagine even how you felt.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I can definitely say, if you're going to go with this new normal, you need to make sure that what I really took away from this was like, you, even as a young person, even the listeners, even if you feel like you want to take the ownership for this meeting, you need to make sure your role is defined.
Right, that's very important, right?
So number one, role is defined. My role at that point was a consultant. My role was to organize and coordinate different people together. I was not the owner. I did not have succeed or fail. It was the owner's responsibility to do this. So like that was one of the big things. And another one is role clarification and why ownership is so important. I could have easily took the ownership on that and say, okay, well, I could have done the meeting without him. So what do you think would have happened, Drosko, if I would have just ran the meeting for my project owner without him?
So maybe you would not have a project afterwards.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think the sometimes, I mean, I have this experience as well that they are not having the time to do the invite on time, so it's like lasting like a few days till they send out the invite, and there you are always in this challenge to do it on your own, like you did. What happened to me? How do you deal with the situation that they are not on time sending the invites, that they are not sending the invites on time, and you don't want this to do it again, right?
Well, like one of the main things I do is like anytime I'm doing a project, I always have a very clear cut, for lack of a better word, contract, what we call a project charter. It's like, you're expected to do this. I'm expected to do this. And in the past, I was a little nervous to kind of throw the hammer down and say, look, we're not going to do this project unless you send this invite. But now I realize through all these years of experience that if they can't take the time just to set up the meetings and say, okay, this is my project. And that was one of the things is when I was explaining it to the project owner afterwards, it was like, look, like I'm just the consultant here. Like, this is your project. Like, I go away after it's done. You are going to be here after that. So like I always have a checklist. I always make sure that this person sends the invite. This person has to agree to it. If we don't get these key people agree to it, then we have to have a meeting and say, okay, is this the right targets? Do we need to change anything in the project, or do we even just kill it? Do we just not do the project? So that's basically how I go about it now. So
sounds a good plan right now, right?
Yeah, it's worked so far. So anybody that I really, just not to repeat myself, anytime you are doing a new project or any type of activity, you really need to define who is supposed to do what. And if it's not agreed to, that's when you need to have a meeting or a discussion if this is really worth it, because it's just going to frustrate you or the other person. So,
We don't want our screw ups to become yours. So watch our next episode and see how flying, multitasking, and execution is connected.